Assalamu alaikum dear students, welcome to Farooq Khalid official. Today we will discuss paper 1 to 5070 CAI's chemistry, October November 2023. It's a 40 mark paper, as we already know. Periodic table will be provided and you have to choose one option. So now let's begin with the paper. Question number 1. This is from heating and cooling curve, the very first topic, states of matter. A solid substance is placed in a flask. The flask is gently heated and temperature of the substance is recorded at regular time intervals. The diagram shows a graph of temperature against time. Temperature against time, this is a heating curve. You already have studied this heating curve. So at which point does the flask contain both solid and liquid? That's very simple. So we know at B what happens from this region to this, both solid and liquid, both physical states will be present, and the temperature corresponding to B, this will be the melting point, and corresponding to D here, this will be the boiling point of the substance. So which one is the correct option for the first question? That is B. So this question was from the topic states of matter. Second question. A crystal of sodium chloride is dropped into a beaker of water and the crystal dissolves. We know all sodium salts are soluble in water and all chlorides are soluble except silver and lead chloride from the solubility table. There are 4 stages in this process. The water molecule collide with the ions in the crystal lattice. Ionic bond in the crystal breaks. The ion moves randomly in all directions until they evenly spread throughout the solution. The ion continue to move randomly in all directions but remain evenly spread throughout the solution. At which state is diffusion occurs? So we know the diffusion, movement of particle from a region of higher concentration to lower concentration. So it happens in case of ions where the ions they move. So third option, if you have a look, diffusion can't occur in solids. So diffusion can occur in liquids and gases. So here the ions in the liquid, they will separate. So as they are being separate throughout of the liquid, so we will say that diffusion is occurring at stage 3, and in stage 4 they already have diffused, so there is no more process of diffusion in stage 4. So the correct option will be 3. So C should be the correct option to this question. Now the question number 3, W is ethene, that is an alkene, X is air. So wherever the word air is, it means oxygen. Y is iodine and Z is brass. So what is brass, dear students? It's a mixture of copper plus zinc, that is alloy. So you got ethene, air, iodine and brass. Which row is correct? So that's very simple. It is from atoms, elements and compounds, the question 3. So look at the option D here. Element is Y and Y is iodine, I2. Compound is W, that is ethene. It has fixed melting and boiling point. Mixture is X and Z. Air is a mixture of gases, Z is the mixture of copper and zinc. Question number 4. Which statement about the isotope of bromine is correct? So what is the definition of isotopes? Atoms of the same element with same proton number but different number of nucleon. So isotopes have the same chemical properties but different physical properties. Same chemical properties but different physical properties. So see option A, they are atoms with the same number of electron and different number of protons. That is incorrect. B is they are atoms with the same number of neutrons. No. C, they are atoms with same number of protons and the same chemical properties. Yes. So D is they are atoms with the same number of protons, same physical properties. So C is the correct option. Question number 5 is again from the atomic structure and bonding. Topic is atom, elements and compounds. Which diagram shows a section of ionic lattice sodium chloride? So sodium chloride has a cubic structure and there will be alternative positive and negative ions in the crystal lattice. You can see here the positive ion, then negative, positive, then negative. So each chloride is bonded to 2 sodium, each sodium is bonded to 2 chloride. So you can say it is alternative positive and negative charge. So each sodium is bonded with chloride and each chloride is bonded with a sodium atom. And remember, in a unit cell of sodium chloride, one sodium is bonded. In the crystal lattice of sodium chloride, one sodium is bonded with 6 chlorides and one chloride is bonded with 6 sodium. We studied this while we covered this chapter. So A is the correct option. Number 6. This is from the chapter acid, base and salts. When dilute hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, is added to aqueous lead nitrate or white PPT, lead chloride is formed. From the solubility table, you know lead chloride is insoluble in water. What is the ionic equation for this reaction? That's really simple. Ionic equation for insoluble salt, dear students, I told you, for insoluble salt, the ionic equation, you will just write the ions of these cation and anion involved in the formula of salt. Like lead has which charge? It is already mentioned here, +2. You will write Pb +2 aqueous, plus Cl2 will be written as 2Cl -1 aqueous. So see which equation resemble with this, the C1. Question number 7. Which row shows a pair of molecules where the MR of the compound X is exactly half that of compound Y? MR of X is exactly half of that of compound Y. So here in this question you have to calculate the MR. So it will take some time. So you will calculate and you will see which one is the most suitable option for this question. You know how to calculate the MR of the compound. Like carbon dioxide, its MR is 44. 1 into 12 plus 2 into 16, this will be 44 grams. Similarly, you will calculate the MR for CH3, CO2, C2H5, that is ethyl ethanoate. So how many carbons are here? 4 carbons. 4 into 12 plus how many oxygens are here? 2. 2 multiplied by 16 plus how many hydrogens are here? 5 and 3, 8. So this will be 48 plus 32 plus 8. So how much it will be? This will be 88. So you can see so MR of the compound X is exactly the half of compound Y. Half of compound Y, this is 88. If you will divide with 2, the answer will be 44. So D will be the correct option. One volume of gaseous element X2 combined with equal volume of gaseous hydrogen to form 2 volumes of gaseous hydride. So the volume here will be considered as mole. So 1 volume means 1 mole of element X2 combines with equal volume means 1 mole of H2 to form 2 moles of gaseous hydride. So H will combine with X to form HX, like HCl, HBr, and there will be 2 volume means 2 moles. So what will be the correct option for this? This will be HX, not H2X2. Like you know X is hydride, so it will be like HCl, HBr or HI. Moreover, while balancing the formula, you put 2 in the coefficient, not in the subscript. Question number 9. Which reaction would produce the greatest volume of carbon dioxide at RTP? So here we will see we are given with 4 reactions. We are given with the 4 reactions, and we will see the mole ratio as well. Option A uses 1 gram of carbon. Option B uses 10 gram of carbon. C also uses 10 gram, and the D uses 50 cubic centimeter of 1 mole sulfuric acid. So you will exercise this question by using the formula, and you will leave such question at the end because it will take 5 to 6 minutes. But when you will solve this question, firstly convert grams into mole, like 10 grams of calcium carbonate. In step 1 you will find out the moles of calcium carbonate, CaCO3, then find out the moles of CO2 from CaCO3. CaCO3 will be in given, CO2 will be in required. This will be 1, this will be X. Here will be the answer from step 1. Then use the formula for finding the volume of a gas, that is number of moles multiplied by 24. So when you will follow the same procedure, the final answer that you will get for question number 9 is B. Moving on, question number 10. Chrome alum is the common name for salt which has the formula CrKSO4 twice. What is the percentage by mass of chromium in chrome alum? So that's really simple, dear student. This is a formula that we studied. Percentage of an element in a compound equals number of atoms of that element into AR over MR times 100. So the formula you already have studied. Here in case of chromium, there are how many atoms of chromium? 1 multiplied by AR of chromium 52 divided by MR of CrKSO4 twice. You will put here after calculation and then multiply with 100. The answer for question number 10 that you will get after this is 18.4%. So this will be B option. Question 11 again from moles and stoichiometry. The topic percentage yield of a substance. What is the percentage yield? You are given with 18 tons of iron oxide. 18 tons of iron oxide. So 1 ton equals 10 raised to power 6 gram. So you know how to do it. You have to calculate the percentage. 80 tons of iron oxide produces 50 ton of iron. So what happened, dear students? Here you are given with the actual yield of iron, that is 50 ton. With 3 steps, like first step is the calculation of mole of Fe2O3, second is the calculation of moles of iron, then its mass in ton. Then you will use the formula percentage yield equal to actual yield over theoretical yield multiplied by 100. So actual yield will be 50 ton divided by the answer of iron that you will get after 3 steps. You will put here multiply by 100. So after this the answer that you will get will be 89%. So option D will be the correct one. Question 12 is from the topic electrolysis. Aqueous copper sulfate is electrolyzed using copper electrode. Copper electrodes are reactive electrodes, so they will take part physically in the reaction. Mass of the anode decreases, mass of the cathode it increases. Which row correctly describes this? So see, mass of the anode will decrease because copper is a reactive electrode. Mass of cathode will increase, and number of copper ions in the solution will remain as such. So blue color will remain as such. So C will be the correct option. Hydrogen reacts with chlorine to form hydrogen chloride. The enthalpy change for each reaction is given. What is the value for delta H? Very easy. You know the formula for delta H is endo minus exo. Bond breaking is endo, bond making is exo. So firstly calculate the values for bond breaking, those are endo. There is 1 H2, so it will be 1 into 436 plus 1 chlorine, 1 into 242. So see what is the answer that you will get for endo. Similarly for exo, there are 2 moles for HCl. Bond energy for HCl is 431. So for exo it will be 2 into 431. And it will be 436 plus 242 here. So the answer that you will get after performing the calculation is minus 184 kilojoule per mole. So the option B is the correct one. Nitrogen and oxygen react as shown. The enthalpy change for the reaction is positive 66, means this is an endothermic reaction. If 2 moles of nitrogen and 2 moles of oxygen are used, what will be the enthalpy change? So the enthalpy change for 2 moles of nitrogen and 2 moles of oxygen, what will be the enthalpy change here? So actually the enthalpy change is the heat change occurring at constant temperature. So at this point what will happen? By changing the number of moles, if you will change the number of moles, then you have to change the moles of product as well. So it will not affect the enthalpy of a chemical reaction, so it will remain as such. By changing the moles will not affect the enthalpy of the reaction, it will remain as such. So the option C will be the correct option. It will remain as such. 15. Physical change and chemical changes occur in a substance. Which process describes a chemical change? Remember students, chemical change occurs as a result of a heat change or increase or decrease in mass, or whenever you see the formation of bubbles of a gas. So a chemical change that always occurs as a result of a heat change. So for the 15, covalent bonds in methane molecules are broken. So it means they absorb energy and then they undergo cleavage. So that's a chemical change. We don't need to look any further. Two methods used by the student to measure the rate of reaction are disappearing cross method. Wherever the formation of precipitates occur, then you put a cross here on a paper, then place at the bottom of flask, and then you note down the time for the disappearance of this cross. This is generally used with the salt that has insoluble salts which are insoluble in water. And the second method is loss of mass method. There you see how much mass is lost with respect to time. Two methods are mentioned here. The rates of two reactions are investigated. Reaction 1, warm aqueous silver nitrate is added to chlorobutane dissolved in ethanol. Two products are formed. One is organic compound which is soluble in ethanol, other is silver chloride. As you can see, silver chloride is insoluble in water. So you will use disappearance cross method for reaction 1. Reaction 2, piece of solid calcium carbonate are added to dilute HCl. So it will form calcium chloride, carbon dioxide and water. So calcium chloride is soluble in water. So reaction 2 will be for loss of mass method. So now let's see which option suits us. The option B, reaction 1 disappearing cross, the reaction 2 loss in mass. Question number 17. Hydrogen is used as a reactant both in Haber process and in its addition to alkenes. Which row is correct? Catalyst in the Haber process, yes, nickel, no, iron. In Haber process the catalyst is iron, and product of addition of hydrogen to alkene is an alkane. So the correct option for it is A. Question number 18. Chlorine Cl2 reacts with iron Cl2 with iron, the reaction is mentioned. Which statement about the reaction is correct? So chlorine is oxidized. No, its oxidation number decreases. Chloride ion are formed by loss of electron. No. Fe+2 ion have gained electron. No, it has lost electron because the oxidation number increases. So Fe+3 ion are formed by oxidation. D is the correct option. Which statement is correct? A base will react with ammonium salt to produce a gas that turns damp blue litmus paper red. Of course, this reaction we studied, but the ammonia gas turns moist red litmus paper blue, not damp blue litmus paper red. So that's why this can't be the correct. Adding a base to an acid solution will increase the pH of the solution. Of course it will increase, because once the end point is reached, then the pH increases rapidly. So B should be the correct option. Question number 20. Information about three oxides Q, R and T is given. Q reacts with dilute sulfuric acid to form salt and water. R reacts with both acid and bases to form salt. This is amphoteric. T reacts with aqueous sodium hydroxide to form salt and water. So T should be acidic because it is reacting with a base. So now see, Q, it must be a base because it is reacting with acid. R, it must be amphoteric. T, it must be acid because it is reacting with a base. So D should be the correct option to this question. Question number 21. Which definition of a hydrated substance is correct? Hydrated substance has water chemically combined with it. So this is the definition. So see option D. A hydrated substance is the one that is chemically combined with water. For example, copper sulfate dot 5H2O. So this dot represents water of crystallization. This is hydrated copper sulfate. Its color is blue. You have studied this in case of identification of ions. Question number 21. A student has 5 reagents. The list is mentioned. How many soluble salts can be prepared from these 5 reagents? So now see, you have to calculate. There are 5 reagents. So simply you can make 5 soluble salts from here, like dilute hydrochloric acid, dilute sulfuric acid. Dilute hydrochloric acid can make like sodium chloride. Sulfuric acid can make potassium sulfate. Nitric acid, potassium nitrate. Calcium carbonate can make calcium sulfate. Copper carbonate, it can make copper sulfate. So 5 reagents can make 5 soluble salts. So C should be the right option. The table shows the number of electrons in one atom of each of the element W, X, Y and Z. Number of electrons in one atom and then the element W, X, Y, Z are mentioned. Which statement is correct? W and Z are in the same group. So you will use magic number to write their electronic configuration. For 9 you will write like the configuration will be 2, 7. And for Z the configuration will be 2, 8, 8. And then it will be 17. So it means group 17 is actually the group 7. So both are present in the same group. So A, it is the right option. We don't need to look any further. Question number 24. Some properties of element in group 7 and the reason for the properties are shown. Which row shows a property and the reason for this property? So talking about the 24, A is all the element exists in diatomic molecule. Yes. Group 7 elements are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, all exist as diatomic. Each atom has 7 electrons in the outer shell and can share a pair of electrons. Exactly, A is the right option. Aircraft manufacture requires a metal with low density, resistant to corrosion. Aluminium is used. Which property is applied to aluminium? So for 25 we know both are applicable, so A is the right option. For 26, which diagram represents an alloy? So again very simple, D is the diagram that represents alloy. Alloy have different size particles in form of a mixture. Now 27, a small piece of metal is added to large beaker of water. A vigorous reaction occurs. When the reaction stops, few drops of litmus are added to the solution. What is the metal and which color is the solution? Is the solution after the litmus is added? So a small piece of metal is added to large beaker, vigorous reaction occurs. So this can be true for like both calcium and magnesium. They are reactive. When the reaction stops, a few drops of litmus are added to the solution. What is the metal and which color is the solution after the litmus is added? So students, we know that when you add calcium in water, it forms calcium hydroxide, but magnesium hydroxide is not formed easily. So calcium hydroxide, this is a base. So the base has which color in litmus solution? The color is blue. So it was a tricky question. The option is A for this. Question number 28. Question number 28. The rusting of iron can be prevented by coating the iron with another material. Yes, so which statement explain why coating with zinc is more effective than painting? So we know zinc is more reactive than iron, so it will act as a sacrificial metal. For, let's see option A, if the coating is damaged, zinc corrodes instead of iron. Yes, that's right. Iron is above zinc in the series. That's incorrect. Zinc does not react with air or with water. That's also incorrect. Zinc forms an unreactive alloy coating with iron. No, option A is the correct one. Question number 29. The list shows the position of metal X in the reactivity series. X is less reactive than iron, more reactive than copper. Which method could be used for the extraction of metal X? Of course, reduction with carbon. So for 29, the option should be heating the metal oxide with carbon. That is reduction with carbon. You cannot use electrolysis. Electrolysis is used for metal more reactive than carbon: potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum. And heating the metal oxide with copper, that's not the option at all. So second one is the correct. C is the right option. Which statement about the water is correct? Distillation is used to remove insoluble impurities from the domestic water supply. It is incorrect. Aluminium and silica is used for such purpose. So distillation is not used in domestic household. B is the option. Water containing impurities turn anhydrous sulfate blue. So the blue color is due to the presence of water, so that's right. So B should be the right option. Some compounds that can be used as fertilizer are listed. 3 of the elements required for the plant growth have the atomic symbol NPK. How many of these 3 elements are present in each of the following compounds? That's very simple question. All you need to know the formula of all these compounds: ammonium nitrate NH4NO3, potassium nitrate KNO3, potassium phosphate K3PO4, sodium phosphate Na3PO4. So now you will count like N, P and K in the following options. So when you will see for 31, the correct option will be B, as it has how many? As you can see, in ammonium nitrate it has only nitrogen from NPK, so it has 1 out of these 3, and here N and K both are present, potassium and nitrogen, and in K3PO4 again you have K and P, and then Na3PO4 it has only phosphorus in it, so B is the right option. Talking about the 32 different strategies to reduce the effect of environmental issues have been suggested, which row is correct? So for 32, A option is strategy to reduce the effect of climate change, reduction in livestock farming. That's not feasible. B is reduction in livestock farming using low sulfur fuels, strategy to reduce the effect of acid rain. So using low sulfur fuels, in fact students, this will lead to less emission of sulfur and less formation of SOx. Those are SO2 and SO3. So as there will be, because we are talking about the reduction, not the eradication or not the prevention of something that is being formed. So using low sulfur fuels and reduction is livestock farming to avoid any sort of release of methane into the atmosphere, because it is having the huge contribution in global warming. So B is the right option. 33, which statement about organic compound is correct? So for 33, which statement about organic compounds is correct? Option A is each molecule of propane 1-ol. Dear student, this is propane 1-ol, and this one is propane 2-ol. This is 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. So each molecule of propane 1-ol has 1 OH group, and each molecule of propane 2-ol has 2 OH group. No, it also has 1 OH group, so A can't be the right option. Octane and decane are in the homologous series with general formula CnH2n. This is for alkene, not for alkane. Decane and octane, their suffix has n, that is alkane. And for general formula for alkane is CnH2n plus 2. This is for alkene, so not a correct option. The ester butyl butanoate, how will you write butyl butanoate? This is alkyl with single bond O carbon, it has 4 carbons, butyl, and then butanoate including this 3 more carbons. So butyl butanoate has 8 carbon atoms in each molecule. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is butyl, so this will be 4 carbon. So yes, it has 8 carbon atoms in its molecule. So C is the right option. For 34, in fractional distillation of petroleum, different fractions are obtained at the top and the bottom of the fractionating column. Which property does the fraction obtained at the top of fractionating column have compared with the fraction obtained at the bottom? So at the top of the furnace we are having gases, at the bottom we have the solid. So as we rise up the temperature, it decreases. So what happens, like high viscosity, that can't be the option. Low boiling point, so at the top of the fractionating column it has the low boiling point, at the bottom it has the high boiling point. So low volatility is the ability to convert into vapor and the shorter chain length. So the fraction at the top, they have shorter chain length, like methane, lower hydrocarbon are present there, and they have the low boiling point. And they have high volatility, they can't have the lower volatility, and they have low viscosity. Viscosity is the hindrance in the flow of a liquid, so that is not applicable here. So 2 and 4 are the right options. For 35, a chlorine atom can replace a hydrogen atom in a molecule of butane to form chlorobutane. How many different structural isomers of chlorobutane can be formed? So what we can do here, the structural isomers of chlorobutane. So these are structural isomers. So there are two options, dear student. One is the first, the terminal carbon. From here the reaction can occur and the chlorine can replace a hydrogen at the terminal carbon. This will be 1 chlorobutane. So two possible products can be formed, that is 1 chlorobutane, then the chlorine will be here or here, and the second will be 2 chlorobutane, then the chlorine will be here or it can also be here. So there will be two possible structural isomers. Then for 36, two statements are shown. When ethanol is made from glucose by fermentation, you have studied this reaction C6H12O6 in the presence of yeast and zymase. It produces C2H5OH plus 2CO2. Each glucose molecule produces 3 molecules of ethanol. So that can't be the correct statement. When ethanoic acid is made from ethanol, the ethanol acts as an oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent is the one that undergoes reduction. So ethanol is oxidized in this process. So this is also incorrect statement. So right option is D. 37, from the macromolecule chapter, polymer X is addition polymer. The monomer used to make X is but1ene. So this one will be used, but1ene. This is the structure. Polymer Y is a condensation polymer. The monomer used to make R, this one, and this is ethylene glycol, its common name is, and then we have this compound. Which statement about X and Y is correct? The repeat unit of X is this one. So this CH3, it is at the terminal carbon. So we know but1ene has only hydrogen atoms, not any methyl group. So A can't be the option. Again it has CH3, it can't be the option. So it has C, this is not possible at all. The repeat unit of X is okay, this can be the option, but Y is a polyamide. So amide has nitrogen in it, so it is not having any nitrogen, so that's why C can't be the option. So D, the repeat unit of X can be this one, and Y is a polyester, so it can be polyester. So condensation polymers are only, there are two types, polyamide or polyester. So amide has nitrogen in it, and if carbon oxygen is there, then it is polyester. So D should be the right option. For 38, which statement is correct? A filtrate is a substance that remains on the filter paper. No, it's a residue. A saturated solution has maximum amount of solvent. No, solute dissolved in solvent. A solution is compound. A solution is a compound produced when a solute reacts with a solvent. So the solution is not a compound, it can be a mixture as well. So C can't be the option. D, a substance that remains in heated flask after distillation is called a residue. Yes, that's right. For 39, the diagram shows a chromatogram. Which spot has the RF value 0.75? So you'll calculate distance traveled by the solute from baseline. From the center you will calculate this distance divided by this distance. So see which one will be the most suitable option to this question. C will be the right option. So you will calculate with scale and you will get the answer 0.75. Question 40 is from identification of ion table. The result of some tests on the polluted river water are shown. Reagent is aqueous sodium hydroxide. When you added this slowly, white PPT formed on excess precipitate dissolved to give a colorless solution. With aqueous ammonia, again white PPT, no further change. So this can be for aluminium or lead. Lead is not mentioned, so aluminium is the right option. So here it is, students. So we are done with this paper.